Today I want to talk about something. I'm very out the box, very unorthodox. So whatever I'm talking about, you can either listen, you can join in, or you can scroll. Like I don't know what to tell you. The point of me making these videos is so that I can be more open and like my kids have something to look back to. Like even my siblings don't even know certain stuff, which is crazy. But like, yeah. One thing that I want to talk about is my upbringing in Emerald Hills. So you always hear like the factors side of the story, swoop, blah blah blah. Yeah. But you never really hear like the squares version. And and I was on the O block and the A block too, but that's another story for another time. I just want to add that in there, that if you ever see me like banging or whatever, like this is a universal sign. Like this is a rock and roll sign. So whether it's the set or not, like this is universal. Like the goat, like come on now. Let's be. So of course I lived in the neighborhood, 5645 McHugh Street. Number was 619-262-1739. I lived there with my grandparents and my mom and my sister. Some of y'all know her, some of y'all don't. And ever since kindergarten, I have my friends, the ones down the street, the ones across the street, the ones down the street across the street. And when I say that, I mean like in the Nest and whatever street that is. I don't even remember right now. Kelton, Bolenbacher. Dude, I don't remember. Anyway, I think I've mentioned my OG son and Obachan before, Papa P, you know, my granddad and grandma in English. And you probably didn't ever see my mom because what's a nice way to put it, she was always working for real, like working and traveling. She's been working and traveling since as long as I can remember being a boss. And then there's my sister and me. But back to what I was saying about like the you never hear the square side of the story. So I know y'all probably, whoever's watching, all the older people, whatever, have a problem with this, but I remember when a little banger used to be a factor, and what he used to be like, if it ain't the set, then blah 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 blah. I don't even remember, but it was so funny, and I just remember always having a good time. Like we'd be cooking and shit, and there were other gang members that like in the streets, they're definitely gang members, like they're definitely doing shit, but like the way I saw it, like these niggas were in the home, so like they're eating up the food type shit, they're being goofy, like fun type shit or whatever. So the way that somebody else might see it was definitely different from my perspective, being a female, being younger, and just even the type of environment that you have, like type shit. Like what do you bring? Like what are you on type shit? So for that reason, like the community and the togetherness and the fun times and shit, like yeah, I see sets for what they are. But then there's the negative part, like I think y'all remember me mentioning before, like when there's the drive-bys across the street, like it was nothing. Like okay, let's sit on the floor and watch TV by myself. Like ain't no going to go call nobody or do nothing like that. Like it was what it was. Like that wasn't that big of a deal. I do remember one time when it was me, my friend at the time, her older sister, and they didn't live in the neighborhood, but we were standing in front of my house, and this dude was driving past, and he looked like mad and shit. It didn't even look like on no gangbang and shit, but, and he had a gun and he was busting it, but it was like stuck. And our slow asses was just fucking watching him type shit or whatever. And then we're like, oh shit, what the fuck? So me and my friend ran in the house, and then the sister drove off, and then she came back and she got us and she was like, nah, we gotta go because I don't want mom to whip my ass type shit or whatever. Fun times. Like, I don't know what would have happened if his gun wasn't jammed, or if they even remember that too. That was some crazy ass times, fun times. Sorry mom if this is your first time hearing that a semi got shot at in front of our house when I was younger. It wasn't gang related though. It wasn't me. I miss riding my bike in the canyon, digging in the dirt, picking rocks. I've been picking rocks since as long as I can remember. For real. I'm so simple. Papa P had one of those electric scooter thingies that the elderly people normally ride or whatever, or like disabled, and he had about like 3 of them. I had my own at one time. I was so spoiled that I had my own scooter, like electric scooter. Well, the ¿qué es esto? Razors. I had the razors. I had one with lights. And then the actual, I had my own elderly scooter thing. And we used to ride through, not like through the neighborhood, but like definitely through the nest. It was fun. It was like having a little go-kart or like our own little ride type of thing. I think we all play fight and slap box and shit, type shit. I don't think I would slap box, but I would definitely play fight with like the girls and the guys type shit. That was fun. And even watching like actual fights and how do I say this one? I remember there was this one dude, R.I.P. to him, and he was fighting somebody in the neighborhood, and that was my first time seeing both of them fight, and the one in the neighborhood whooped his ass, and it was like inspiring though. It was like fuck yeah, like this motherfucker talking shit, like you ain't even on nothing, and then he come to you with some bullshit, like yeah. That was cool to watch, and it like gives you pride in the neighborhood and shit or whatever, just even as a square or whatever. And like I said, this is my perspective. Feel free to share yours. But like if you have anything negative to say, you can send it with a Cash App message. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And even like the non-gangbangers, like the for real hustlers in the set or whatever, or I only know about this one, so I can't speak for the rest. And like I said, this is my perspective. This ain't no motherfucking what is it? You can't use this. I'm high, so you know, if you try to use this for any type of legal matters. And then it's interesting that there's like, you can like know different, you know, it's a small world type shit. And like my cousins lived 2 blocks away or whatever, and some of their experiences were way different than mine, which was just right here, which is like interesting. I was fortunate enough to not feel the pressure to join a gang or be able to experience what I experienced without having to join a gang type shit. And I'm very grateful for that. Like, did I go through some shit? And then there was a time where I lived in the set, but I went to school outside of the neighborhood, so I was like damn near double life type shit, or like I have my different school friends from my friends at home from whatever, so that plays a role too. I might have not even had the time or to be around. We were always on missions, always walking, always on the bus, the 916, always on the trolley. There were certain stops you couldn't stop at because, you know, people was getting jumped and shit like that. Fun time. Going to the mall, Mission Valley and Fashion Valley and shit. And I'm talking when I'm like a teen, so these were fun times. Remember when we had, what was that, like Legion Hall or something? I'm getting way off topic. But we really had a time back in the day. The skating ring. We had some fun times. There weren't that many gang bangers, like actual gang bangers in our family. Do we have like gangsters or like hustlers? Yeah. But like actual set, not so much. There weren't too many. Which reminds me of when I called him my cousin. I'm sorry, cousin, if you're hearing this and you're hearing that I'm calling you my cousin, you know? Yeah. I remember when he would come to our great grandmother's house, because you know you always gotta come to somebody's grandma's house, and he would not dress in blue. He was not loud or none of that, but then again he was always chill. He kind of reminded me of like Smokey from Friday. But then that's what the fuck goes with the streets too, no matter if you're square or not or whatever, where the fuck you from. I'm laughing, but my cousin had to play the part, because if he didn't, they was about to hem him up, like for real. And it's crazy when you're you can know the people who either your family killed or they killed your family, like you know the murderers. Like that's some wild shit to but you know, it is what it is. Gang gang. And like I said before, I'm seriously just saying this from my perspective. So if you feel some type of way or whatever, like I'm sharing this with my family basically. So obviously I'm not gonna use too many names or no shit like that. But
this is the San Diego version.
And then I know that there's like this stigma thing with like if you're not from the set, then you know you can't represent type shit. And it's like, but I am. Maybe not the way that y'all doing it. And you know, keep your shit, you know. Do you, boo, you got it, you got it. You want that life and you want to show that off, baby, do you. I support you. I was from somewhere, like literally from the community, not from like the set or whatever. This is, I'm talking childhood, like from kindergarten up to the teens. So there's no influences other than I grew up in that area, because I also have positive influences in like I said, I was on my O block or the A block or whatever, which is that MLK Park or whatever. Ooh, that hill where you walk all the way to the top and smoke. I'm not gonna too much speak on that or whatever, but there's definitely a dynamic and there's definitely bonds and fun times and shit like that. Like it's not all negative. I don't know where actually I do know where the turn for where it gets ugly.